Shabazz, break it down with the proper perspective. So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection. Whose mouth is fumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz, break it down with the proper perspective. So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection. And whose mouth is fumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz, break it down with the proper perspective. Shabazz, break it down with the proper perspective. Break it down with the proper perspective.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? This is Shabazz. What's going on with you? We gonna get it started tonight. You know we gotta talk about Trump. So that's what's going on. I'm gonna wait a minute or two just to make sure everything is working. Okay. I do believe my volume is kicking. So my volume is straight. That's cool. I was gonna try to simulcast on TikTok, but maybe not. So what's going on? This is Shabazz bringing you the proper perspective tonight. So I'm gonna start off just by asking you a question. Are you concerned about the government taking money out your check every week? Now this is a question. This should go for everybody, whether you're 16 or 66. You ever wonder what actually happens to that money when politicians start making wild promises? Well, that's what we're going to try to break down at least a little bit tonight, specifically because of the orangutan dictator. So what's up, everybody? I'm going to try to give it a couple minutes before I really get started. See if we're going to get any people joining the chat. If you are joining into the chat, say something, drop a one, drop a peace sign or something. But you know, we gonna get into this whole Trump Social Security claims. He made the headlines today, marking the 90th anniversary of Social Security, and they say it's trending. So we're gonna get started on that. We're gonna break it down. So, like I said, this is Shabazz. Welcome to the proper perspective. I just watched the Trump Social Security proclamation video, and yeah, my jaw hit the floor a little bit. I was a little shocked. I was a little surprised. Some might even say I started to clutch my pearls. This man is literally claiming that he eliminated taxes on Social Security, while his own experts say his policies are making the trust fund crisis worse. Man, when your own team starts snitching you out, you know you got a problem. So what are we talking about? We talking about promises, false promises, fake promises, lies. We're talking about promises that could affect millions of seniors. And I know, like, okay, if you're not a senior, then you might be like, move on. No, if millions of seniors' lives are affected by paycheck reductions, then millions of family members are going to be affected by paycheck reductions. So we're going to try to break this down into an absolute masterclass in political bullshit. Don't want to cuss because the algorithms might start messing with me. But let's set the stage. And I'm going to play a little bit. That's why I got him up here on the screen. I'm going to play a little bit of what he said. So can't nobody say, you lying. You can't say I'm making it up. So here's what happened. Trump signed the proclamation to celebrate the 90th year of Social Security, the 90th anniversary. Fine, ain't got no problem with that. Nobody would really have a problem with that. We all pretty much appreciate Social Security once you know and understand. I know there may be some young folk who might happen to be either tuning into me or they heard something about it on the news and was just like, they ain't got nothing to do with me. Oh, you could never be so wrong. So he made some pretty bold claims. And I'm going to play some of them so you can hear straight from the horse's mouth. Let me see if I can get this microphone to work correctly now. So I'm going to play this first clip. Let me get this thing rolling here. And y'all tell me, make sure you can hear this. So here we go.
Country as a whole, last month, I signed one big, beautiful bill and allowed no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Okay, so how's that? Not bad, right? No tax on Social Security for our seniors. And to protect our benefits, we've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country. We cleared 12.4 million names listed in the Social Security.
All right, I'm going to pause that. I'm going to come back and play that a little bit later. So you heard him say, last month I signed one big, beautiful bill and allowed no tax on the Social Security for our great seniors. He said, okay, so how's that? Not bad, right? No tax on Social Security for our seniors, for our great seniors. So you caught that. You can't say I'm making it up. He said no tax on Social Security. And then his aide comes up and even doubles down. So let me play that. It's not just him. His aide comes in. Let me see where we at. Let me push this on up to the point when the aide kind of doubles down. Get this on the record. Almost there.
Fact that as part of the one big beautiful bill, a vast majority of our senior citizens are no longer paying taxes on their Social Security benefits, as you promised in your campaign and as you delivered for the American people.
So you heard that. The aide is spoon feeding him. Well, the aide is spoon feeding us the same company pitch. A vast majority of our senior citizens are no longer paying taxes on their Social Security benefits, as you promised in your campaign. Okay. Now, here's the thing. What I did, I had to get online, I had to do some research. I started digging into the data. I started looking up the experts, see what the expert analysis reveals. Now, the thing that gets me the most is even Trump's own administration's reports. They do not co-sign this BS. That's what I found. I found that his own administration is like, I don't know about that. So let's just say reality paints a picture that's quite alternate to the words that are coming out of his mouth. So what do we have here? We have claims versus reality. So let's break down what Trump actually delivered versus what Trump promised. So he claims in the video, he literally says no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. That's the claim. A vast majority of our senior citizens are no longer paying taxes on their Social Security benefits. That's the cosign. So is this what he actually did? Now, the experts say a temporary $6,000 tax deduction for people 65 and older is not eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits. That's just a standard deduction. But he's acting like he's delivered on some full promise. You know, it's a huge difference not getting taxed and paying fewer taxes. And here's the kicker. Now you're going over to the PBS group, PBS analysis. You know what they said? They said this move exaggerates the benefits to seniors. Now, once you get into the realm of exaggerating in the field of politics, on the street, that's a lie. Point blank. On the street, that's a lie. So he's acting like, no, I shouldn't say it that way. Let me say it this way. Oh, I'm gonna go on further. The Tax Foundation, this is an even better one. The Tax Foundation and some other experts, they're saying that this primarily helps upper middle class seniors. Now, so again, I'm not saying it's a complete 100% lie. I'm going to break that down too. It's helping upper middle class seniors. But you know what? I had to do the research. I had to do the digging. So who are these upper middle class seniors? Did you know we're talking about households making between $100,000 and $170,000 a year? That's the income bracket that they were in for the people who are getting helped by Trump's $6,000 deduction. These are people that were making between $100,000 and $170,000 a year, and now that they are retired, or now that they're getting their Social Security check, you know how much money they get a year? I'm sorry, you know how much money they get a month? The people that Trump is helping are people that are collecting a check of anywhere between $8,000 to $14,000 a month. That's who he's helping. He's helping seniors, the great senior citizens, who are already making $8,000 up to $14,000 a month. Now, I'm not mad at people that make that money. What I'm saying is, these are not the folks who are struggling. How do I know? I did the research. If you want to talk about vast majority, because that's his word, that's his phrase, and that's who he's helping, here's the real deal. Here's the real deal. Nearly two-thirds of seniors rely on their Social Security for the bulk of their income. So that's 2 out of every 3 people. That's 66%. So that's the vast majority. You can't play with that. 50% is half. Vast majority is 65%. So 65%, 66%, 2/3 are relying on their Social Security check. And 2/3 have less than, or were making less than, $100,000. They have less than $100,000 worth of assets. They were earning less than $100,000 a year, which means their paychecks are far less than that $8,000 floor or that $14,000 ceiling. So in other words, most senior citizens are not being helped by the $6,000 deduction. Most senior citizens are not in this 100K and up club that Trump is bragging about. We're talking regular retirees who are what? Who are scraping by, scraping by. This is not the country club crowd. Therefore, he don't care. Now, if you jump on over to NPR, jump on over to NPR, they even reported that Social Security Administration sent out emails applauding this bill. This the tomfoolery going on. Because the Social Security Administration is telling you in writing, this is a good bill. And the experts weighed in and said, well, actually, you see what had happened was those emails were misleading. Now, when experts are calling government communications misleading, ain't that what we call a red flag? Flag on the field. Something wrong. When your own people, when your own crew start snitching on you, when your own crew can't co-sign what you're saying, ain't nobody picking up what you putting down. So, the big contradiction here, and the big contradiction, it gets wild. It gets wilder and wilder. I'm going to play another clip for you. So let me go back to, where's my time piece? So you can hear this too.
Social Security for generations to come. You keep hearing stories that in 6 years, 7 years, Social Security will be gone, and it will be if the Democrats ever get involved because they don't know what they're doing. But it's going to be around a long time with us. Almost 60 million American seniors rely on Social.
So he said it's going to be around a long time with us. Now, maybe you'll say, well, that's not a lie. How is that a lie? He's literally promising Social Security will be fine under his administration. He casts aspersions on the Democrats. But listen here, because this is where it gets insane. Like I said, his own administration's chief actuary just released an analysis that says the exact opposite. So your own crew is snitching on you. According to the Social Security Administration's own chief actuary, Trump's tax and spending bill actually speeds up insolvency for Social Security trust funds. Speeds it up, not slows it down, not prevents it, not derail it, not detract it, not stop it, speeds it up. I shouldn't have to tell you what insolvency mean, right? Y'all do know that mean broke. Brokey broke. Brokey broke. So let me repeat this. Trump says it's going to be around a long time. And his own experts say, no, it ain't. Not only do they say, no, it ain't. They say, actually, sir, your plan is going to make it run out faster. The insolvency date actually moved up from third quarter 2034 to the first quarter of 2034. Now, this is bad no matter how you cut it, it's bad. It's 2000, what is it? It's 2025, so you're talking like 9 years. So him saying, it's going to be around for a long time, in what right mind is 9 years a long time when you're talking about an agency, an institution, and a system that is supposed to be supporting people by giving them back the money they spent into the system, most of whom will be still alive, still in need of that check beyond 9 years from now. Let alone all of us who are paying into it now. If you're 20, you certainly going to be here beyond 9 years. If you're 30, you're certainly going to be here beyond 9 years. And even if 9 years was a good number, that's like saying, well, we'll make it to 2034. In the 9th year, we'll make it to November. Okay, so start planning. Oh no, with this new plan, in the 9th year, we're going to be out in January. Where's the good? Where's the benefit? Where's the value? Where's the big beautifulness? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But this is the contradiction. This is the bullshit that we're being fed. So, instead of it being around a long time, even his own team can't back him up. It's being sped up. And they are specifically saying it's being sped up. The insolvency date is actually sped up by your policies, Mr. Trump. Now get this. Because he got even one more big claim, big beautiful claim, big beautiful bullshit. Let's listen further. Where are we going? Where are we going with this?
Social Security for our seniors, and to protect our benefits, we've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country.
Now, here we come to the payday. I know all you xenophobic people out here love to hear that. I know all you pro-MAGA, pro-ICE people is pumping your chest when you hear that. To protect our benefits, we've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. Look, I'm not going to try to convince you not to be xenophobic. I know it's in your blood. I'm not going to try to convince you to be anti-ICE. I know it's in your blood. I know you feel it like oxygen. I'm just going to talk math. Because even if we take these numbers at face value, which we shouldn't, but taking them at face value, the amount of money coming from the 275,000 illegal aliens, it's pocket change. It really is pocket change. Now, I got something else I'm going to hit you with. Let me check this thing out one quick second. Now, so the reason I said it's pocket change. So here we go. Let's do a cash money reality check. Because kicking a few 100,000 people off Social Security, yeah, it saves the system about as much as finding a dime under your couch cushions while your kitchen is burning down. The real money drain is his tax cuts, not the so-called illegal aliens, so-called on Social Security. Those are like, this whole thing, his tax cuts are like leaving the water running in your house and wondering why it flooded. Yeah, the savings he's talking about is pocket change. That's all it is. Now, why this hits everyone, why this affects everyone, young, old, from 16 to 66. Because I got young folk in my family. I got young friends. I know some people will be like, man, I don't care about this. I ain't got time for this. Look, I get it. I know Social Security might feel like the old people's problem, especially when you're 16, 17, even when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you still be like, anyhow. But look, here's the reality check, because from the moment you start working, you can say it don't affect you and you don't care and it don't matter. Look at your paycheck. Every paycheck you get, they're taking money out for Social Security. So right off top, you should care. But let's put that to the side. I do believe all of us, but okay, maybe I shouldn't say all. A vast majority of us, we got an elder in our family, grandmother or grandfather, mother or father, depending on what generation you fall in. That's actually on Social Security right now. You might be in a situation now where you're already helping them out with a few bucks here and there because the Social Security check is all they got, and it's not enough. Well, that's going to go gangbusters under this new big, beautiful tax bull that Trump is pumping his chest about. And here's what really gets me fired up. If you're working right now, like I said, I was working when I was 15 and 8 months. That's how long I've been working. I jumped in there before 16. The second I found out 15 and 8, I could do, yep, I'm gone. If you're working right now, 15 and 8 months, 16, 17, 18, 20s, 30s. If you're working right now, money is coming out of your paycheck today for Social Security. Out of every single paycheck, you get paid once a month, it's coming out. You're getting paid twice a month, it's coming out. That's your future he just started slamming the door on even quicker than the experts said would have to have happened had he left it alone. You are currently paying into a system that his own experts say will run out of money sooner because of his policies. not because of Democrat Party policies. This has nothing to do with partisan politics. It doesn't matter if you are, sound like The Rock. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or anything on the spectrum. This affects everybody. But wait, and you know what else is draining money that could save Social Security? Because it's always something that, you know what else is draining money that could have saved Social Security? Trump's mass deportation campaign, the one that all you xenophobes love. Congress, yeah, they approved $175 billion for immigration enforcement. And I think the numbers are floating out there. They like trying to give people, they paying people anywhere between $50,000 and $150,000 a year to help them remove all of these immigrants. This is $175 billion with a B that could have went to fix Social Security. What do I care if there's some illegal immigrants out here if my paycheck ain't coming, if my Social Security check ain't coming? You know, the Cato Institute estimates deportations will add almost an additional $1 trillion to the bill's total cost. They say each deportation costs taxpayers about $10,500, or at least according to NBC News. If you want to say, well, that's the fake news, okay, have at it. Stick your head in the sand and keep on moving. But I'm going to think about the math. So the government, this country, this administration is spending nearly $1 trillion to round people up and ship them out, while simultaneously making the Social Security crisis worse. So if you go and do this money reality check, like I said, what good is it that you're kicking a few hundred thousand people off Social Security if the damn Social Security system is imploding, brain freeze, imploding while you're doing this nonsense? So that all that deportation money could have easily gone to keep Social Security solvent. Trump is literally burning cash and lying about it, telling seniors that their benefits are secure. And his actuaries, his professional bean counters are like, sorry, nope, hate to tell you, hate to break it to you, but the boss is lying. I ain't even finished with the lies. Now, later on, he starts talking about the digital first, what is it? The digital first initiation or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Right, so let me see. Here we go. Don't want you to say I'm making this up. Let me see. Oh, well, no. So he says, I might not be able to find it, but hold on. He says, the administration is also pushing this digital first initiative for Social Security. Now, I may butcher this dude's name. I apologize. I'm not Italian. It looks Italian, and I may say it wrong. But Commissioner Bisignano is promising 200 million Americans will have digital SSA accounts, digital Social Security accounts, by next year, 2026. And this may sound great, but it's moving goalposts. Essentially, it's changing the subject from the trust fund crisis to let's talk about customer service improvements. Yeah, let's talk about customer service improvements. Don't get me wrong, customer service improvements is good. But you can have the best digital interface in the world And it won't matter if there's not enough money to pay the full benefits. Now, what you should know, what you should take away from this is I'll just like make it plain. First, be skeptical. Always be skeptical of political proclamations that don't match the underlying data. That's no matter who's in office. Of course, we got the orangutan dictator to be skeptical about right now, so we can always be skeptical of what comes out of his mouth. But what makes that even worse is when the politician who is in charge, when his own experts contradict his public statements, pay attention. Who's in charge? Who's really running things? But secondly, you got to understand that temporary tax breaks can have long-term consequences. There may not be much that we can do about it. He done already signed it. But we ought to at least be aware, and somebody else should be getting ready to say, wait a minute, add this to the protest list. Because that $6,000 deduction, yeah, it's helping the people who's already getting an $8,000 check. It's helping 33% of the great seniors for now. But it can also mean reduced benefits for everyone later. And like I said, the less money your grandma got, the more you might need to help her. The less money your grandpa got, the more you might need to help them. And if you ain't already in the 100,000 and up tax bracket, what you gonna do? Social Security's trust fund crisis is real, and the math don't lie. Now, I mean, we know that the math don't lie. If you didn't know it before Jay-Z said it, you damn sure know it now. Numbers don't lie. Politicians, Lou. Politicians' speeches, political speeches, politicians' lies don't change actuarial truth. Now, like I said, I ain't want to stay up here too long. Got some other things to do. But I've linked all my sources in the description below. So you'll see a link to the PBS analysis, the NPR reporting, and the actual actuarial reports. So don't take my word for it. And don't get up here telling me I'm lying. Don't get up here and tell me you just don't understand. Check the data for yourself. Now, what you can do is you can get up here and hit the like button. You can get up here and you can hit the subscribe button. And in the comments, you can tell me what you think. Are you concerned about Social Security's long-term viability? Or do you feel like it's just too far down the road for you because you in your 20s or whatever? Do you already know? Are you already aware that you've been affected by these policy changes? Let me know in the comments. That's where I want to see you. So like I said, if you found this breakdown helpful, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Because I'm going to keep cutting through the political spin to bring you the facts that actually matter to your life. This is Shabazz with the proper perspective, where we're waking up minds one thought at a time. So remember, folks, when it comes to policies that affect your retirement security or any other elements of your personal security, shout out to my brothers and sisters in DC, because personal security is in jeopardy right now. All the hype don't necessarily meet with all the reality. So stay informed, stay skeptical, and I'll see you in the next video.
Shabazz, break it down with the proper perspective. So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection. Whose mouth is mumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection. And whose mouth is mumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. Break it down.